Story 1. Do not park in no parking zones or directly next to narrow alleyway entrances and exits. Please put dirty diapers in garbage bags instead of leaving them loose in the trash can. We cannot always collect mattresses, long pipes, pallets, and similar items. Please understand that we do not make those decisions. Some are made by management and others are constrained by the laws of physics. Please place used needles in a sharps disposal container. Story 2. They asked me to move my cans from under the overhanging tree limb. I did not realize they were in the way. I moved the cans and apologized. I am thankful they take away my trash. Story 3. I worked for a parks department for a time, and I was the one who emptied the garbage cans in all of the parks in the city. It is not very big. Items I found included whole vacuum cleaners, drug stashes, a garbage bag full of household trash, dead animals, broken glass, large frozen items, and unfinished dairy-based liquids. These things are not acceptable. Story 4. Don't be an ass. Do not put sand, concrete, tiles, or similar materials in your trash can. If it is something you cannot easily lift yourself, do not put it in your can for someone else to lift along with a week's worth of your trash. I worked as a garbage collector for several years and was placed on workers' compensation for herniating 3 discs because someone filled their can with sheetrock and tile and covered it with loose paper. If you are going to put heavy items out, let the collector see them so they can prepare to lift them. Putting too much weight in your can permanently change someone's life. I know I could have prevented my injury by not taking the can, but I had already lifted it into the air when I realized and it was too late. We did not have hydraulic lifts, so I had to do it all by hand. 2,000 to 3,000 cans a day is rough when you pick them all up. Also, do not put pressurized aerosol cans in your trash can. They can explode and seriously injure people on the back of the truck. Story 5. Use bags. Don't pour cat litter directly into the bin. I received a warning that could have become a fine while my mother-in-law lived with me. The cat belonged to her, and I received the warning because of her actions. I did not pour the litter. Story 6. Almost every waste collection company provides instructions on what can be recycled in its jurisdiction. Different places have different rules. It takes only a few minutes to find this information and save valuable staff time correcting careless mistakes. Story 7. I'm not a garbage collector, but my cousin is. Don't hide a large rock at the bottom of your trash can. Throw it in your neighbor's yard like the rest of us. Story 8. I am not a garbage collector, but I worked in a safety role for a waste collection company. Please use your bins correctly. If general waste is placed in a cardboard recycling bin, all of that cardboard must be sent to general waste disposal instead of being recycled. In the worst case, disposing of solvents, oil, and other hazardous liquids in general waste, rather than taking them to a household hazardous waste facility or arranging a special hazardous waste pickup, can cause a fire. This should go without saying. Do not dispose of explosive materials in general waste. Edited to add something relevant to the post. The most common client complaints I have heard are: 1. Domestic bins are located too far from the curb and must be moved into position. This wastes time and can cause injury depending on bin weight and how many must be moved each day. 2. Domestic bins are overfilled, which can spill trash. Residents often leave loose bags beside the bin. Some drivers may collect these, but they are not required to. 3. Commercial dumpsters must sometimes be dragged uphill, across uneven ground, or over drains to the pickup location. This wastes time and causes injuries. Many incidents occur when drivers move heavy dumpsters themselves. 4. Commercial dumpsters are overfilled, which creates the same and worse problems. Therefore, pull your domestic bins to the curb and place commercial dumpsters in an easily accessible area. You only have to move your bins once. If every customer requires assistance, a driver may have to move hundreds of bins per day. Story 9. My father was a sanitation worker in a suburban area near Chicago. He always stressed safety above everything else. They regularly have safety checks and often watch training videos and attend seminars, especially about driving. They are masters of defensive driving, but accidents still happen. Be respectful of their space. They have your safety in mind. These trucks weigh several tons and operate in confined spaces. If you cut them off in harsh weather, you may have given them a scare. A small shout out to all sanitation workers. I respect you. As a child, I did not understand those who demeaned what you do. I watched my father wake up at 3:30 a.m. Almost every day and not return home until after 6 p.m. He lifted hundreds of pounds of bulky items to be helpful, and he was injured doing it. He worked in heat, cold, rain, traffic, and on holidays. You are amazing. Try not to let addiction overcome you. You are heroes. Love you, Dad. Tip your sanitation workers during the holidays. Story 10. I was reading the comments and I have a question for non-Australians. Do you not have garbage trucks that collect residential bins? Story 11. My boyfriend has been a waste collector for over 10 years, and the things he tells me are unbelievable. Everything placed in your garbage should be in a bag. Dog feces, cat litter, feminine hygiene products, cigarette butts and ashes and so on. Do not put chemicals in the garbage. Each year my boyfriend and his coworkers are exposed to fumes and sometimes suffer chemical burns because people do not look up how to dispose of chemicals properly. It only takes a few minutes to find the right disposal method. Please rinse out your garbage can at least once each summer. Getting covered in liquid and maggots is disgusting, and the smell is very difficult to remove. You do not have to scrub the can, just hose out the inside occasionally. Crew members will appreciate it, will be more inclined to bring your can into the garage for you, and may be more likely to take items they would otherwise have to tag and leave. They are people too. Treat them the way you would want to be treated. Their job is hard enough. Story 12. Stop telling us that we missed your bin when you forgot and put it out late. We have cameras on the trucks and can see straight through your lies. Story 13. Damn, we must all have very different garbage services. Do they do recycling or composting? Do they pick up bags by hand? We just get a large green bin that we can put out twice a week. If it is not inside the bin, it does not go because workers do not even get out of the truck. If you have extra, you haul it off yourself to the dump or the transfer station. Story 14. Please secure your pool cleaners and stop hiding car, motorcycle, and other batteries in trash bags. I know you may not want to dispose of them properly, but it will be a bad day for you and me if I have to dump my entire truck's contents on your street, because your or your neighbor's trash caused a chemical fire and I did not want the truck to explode. Story 15. Living in a high-density city, one thing that annoys me and probably also annoys the garbage collectors is the frequent apartment cleanouts. We have several large metal dumpsters in the back alley, and it seems like every month someone moves out and tries to cram all their furnishings into the dumpsters. They fill all the building's dumpsters, and anything that won't fit gets tossed on the ground or leaned against a building. The garbage collectors hate this, and so do the tenants. They only pick up one item from the ground per week under city rules. Dumpster divers come through and grab some items, but it usually takes a long time for the junk to clear. Story 16. Not me, but my dad. It is a super thankless job. Around the holidays in the early 2000s, people would often bring a small gift, such as a card, a gift card, or a handmade item and other small tokens. It meant the world to him when people did that. However, he told me that over the past decade the gifts have stopped altogether, and now people only come out to ask him to take an extra bag of garbage. My 2 cents. Do something small and nice for your sanitation workers and mail carriers. Story 17. I am not a garbage collector, but I was a janitor for a year. Please, for the love of all that is good in this world, do not vomit in trash cans. It is better for the vomit to be on the ground than in a trash can. It is the nastiest thing to deal with when you are trying to remove a bag that contains vomit. Imagine if there is a hole in the bag and so on. I have said my piece. I will make peace with it now. Story 18. Please do not let your dogs do their business on the bags. Story 19. I remember when I was a teenager. If we had something that would not fit in the trash can, my mom would write for the garbage collectors on a paper bag full of beer and put it by the bins. They always picked up the extra for us. Story 20. When I was a garbage collector, I used to hate people who piled as much as they could on top of the bin. The funny part is the company I worked for decided it was an occupational health and safety problem, so we just put a sticker on the front of the bin and left it. Story 21. In Nova Scotia, residents are required to sort waste into compost, paper recyclables, plastic recyclables, and garbage in a clear bag. Garbage is rejected if it is not sorted properly. Compost is difficult to monitor, so plastic often ends up in it. A cucumber wrapper or pieces of plastic wrap, for example. At an educational session, I learned that someone had to sort through maggot-infested compost to remove plastics. Hearing that an elderly man worked in a room where maggots even fell from the ceiling while searching for a plastic wrapper I had been too lazy to remove made me more careful about what I put in my compost. Story 22. A supermarket plastic bag is not an acceptable trash container on the street. Use proper trash bags. Story 23. These days, with the temperature around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, when my wife hears the trash truck coming, she will grab a bottle of water and take it out to him. Story 24. If you are driving behind a collection truck and someone is emptying bins, do not tailgate. Waiting is annoying, but it does not make the work faster, and it is dangerous for the collector and for you if a bin becomes loose while the mechanism lifts it. Do not overfill your bins. If you have more material than usual, place it in a bag beside the bin. You may include a small token such as juice or a snack, but do not be upset if the crew cannot accept it because the truck is already full. Do not call the company to complain over a small amount left in your bin. Waste collectors may empty 750 to 1,000 bins in a long day. Do not expect them to inspect every bin after emptying it. They may need to return for a small remainder, and they would likely have returned in a week or two anyway. If you forget to put your bin at the curb on time, do not call the company and expect them to empty it later. It is your responsibility to place the bin outside, and if every other bin on the street is empty, it is usually obvious that you forgot. Do not park in front of large containers. It makes it difficult to position the container behind the truck, and your car could be damaged in the process. Most importantly, be polite. I am a student who works as a waste collector for a couple of months each year during semester breaks, and I can feel how people treat me differently when I am in my uniform. Everyone who works there has interesting life stories, works hard, and many are parents. Without these workers, you would be overwhelmed by your waste. Do not be rude and do not act as if you are better than others. Story 25. I had to explain to the garbage collectors that animal control in my town charges a fee to remove dead animals from your yard. My roommates had 3 big dogs between them, so we sometimes found dead birds and squirrels, usually after garbage collection. I kept apologizing because we could not afford the fee. They were really nice about it. As long as you double or triple bag it, we will not notice. Story 26. I used to work in a recycling sorting center. A simple rinse of cans and other items you put out in the recycling makes a small but noticeable difference. It reduces the number of batches of nasty, moldy, smelly material on the sorting line versus patches of items that have been cleaned before being binned. Story 27. After the 4th of July, we had a lot of garbage. Our 2 garbage bins were full and there was a large pile of debris. We went outside when we heard the garbage truck and helped the crew load everything into the back. The 2 men thanked us and said they wished other people would do that once in a while when they had that much trash. Anyway, thanks to all the garbage collectors on this board. Story 28. I drive a street sweeper and empty bins outside businesses. Please, for the love of God, do not throw bricks or concrete blocks in the trash. I have to pick them up and put them in the truck hopper, and when rocks or blocks of concrete fall out, they can hurt or kill someone. Also, please stop throwing children's diapers and bottles filled with urine in commercial parking lots. Just because you can drive away does not mean no one has to deal with it. It is disrespectful and extremely unsanitary. Story 29. If you leave milk out, it can go sour. Put it in the refrigerator or, failing that, in a cool, wet sack. Put your garbage in a garbage can, people. I cannot stress that enough. Do not just throw it out the window. Story 30. I volunteer occasionally as a garbage collector, so this may not apply entirely to me. If I could give one piece of advice, it would be simple. Please be considerate. Say hello and be polite instead of just dropping your trash at my feet. Make sure your garbage bags, if you do not have a bin, are tied, intact, clean, and not too heavy for me to carry. Luckily, I can refuse trash that does not meet our standards, but I sympathize with the professionals who are taken for granted every day. Story 31. My brother is a garbage man. His thoughts. 1. Put your cans out correctly. Face them the right way, leave a few feet between cans, and do not overfill. 2. Stop leaving extra garbage and large items with your trash. 3. Recycle properly. Some items require special recycling centers, and some items are not recyclable no matter how much you wish they were. 4. When you call claiming I missed your house because you forgot to put your can out, I have to go back and pick it up. It is a pain, and if you lied, the next time the wind knocks your can over and trash bags are on the ground, I will leave them there. Story 32. Put your bins at the curb where crews can reach them, not 20 feet up your driveway. Break down your cardboard boxes. Not everything is recyclable. Do not put broom handles, wood, metal, yard waste, diapers, or other non-recyclable items in the recycling bin. If you have extra bags, leave a note apologizing for the extras or a small token such as a can of soda. That can change a crew's attitude from upset to tolerant. Rinse your trash cans. Bag and double bag any meat or food scraps to prevent maggots and odors. Do not park in front of your bin. Crews need about 15 seconds per stop. Parking adds time that adds up when there are 500 plus stops in a day. All in all, be considerate of your sanitation workers. Don't always have extra garbage or leave items scattered on collection days. Crews remember who maintains clean bins and who tips. If you tip throughout the year and at Christmas, we will remember and look out for you. Story 33. Please stop pointing at us and saying, if you don't go to college, you will end up like him. Someone has to clean up after you, Karen. I enjoy being a garbage collector, to be honest. Story 34. This is a bit off topic, but how much do you tip your garbage collectors? I usually leave a $5 bill in the bag, but I have never received any acknowledgement. Story 35. Rinse your recyclables. Cat food, wine, and pasta sauce can stick to jars and make them harder to clean and reuse. Read about China's national sort policy to learn more about what happens to recyclable materials from the United States when they are shipped overseas. Story 36. I'm surprised that a developed country still has garbage collectors who pick up trash manually, while in Australia curbside trash collection has used a mechanical arm on garbage trucks since the late 1980s. Story 37. I am not a garbage collector, but I worked at the customer service and billing desk for a waste management company for 10 years. 1. Use bags. If you cannot afford trash bags, bag your trash in grocery or store bags and tie them closed. Anything is better than loose trash spilling out. 2. Be kind. Garbage collection is necessary. Your collector is a person doing a service and has a family like you do. If they make a mistake, remember they empty thousands of bins every day in rain, snow, and extreme heat. They deal with flies, maggots, dripping liquids, dirty diapers, and stinking cat litter. A little kindness goes a long way. 3. Everyone has extra trash during holidays, so delays are inevitable. You are not the only person with a full bin. We know you need more space and we care, but we must serve everyone in your city or county. We do our best. 4. Your personal collector does not make the rules. If your bill is unpaid, your can is not out on time, or collection goes wrong, call your waste company and speak to a customer service representative who works in the office. Please do not scream at the collector who is working hard every day. I would much rather have you vent to me than to the collector or driver. 5. Garbage trucks usually have compactors. After a certain number of dumps, they compress the trash to make more room, so trucks become very heavy and densely packed. Be aware in traffic and treat a garbage truck like an 18-wheel tractor trailer. They cannot stop quickly. If they hit you, your car can be crushed or people can be killed. It is devastating to drivers when this happens. Many have to quit because of post-traumatic stress disorder and emotional trauma. Please yield to trucks or be extra cautious. 6. Drill a few small holes in the bottom of your trash can. If you are unsure, call and ask if you are allowed to. This allows excess liquid to drain during rain and can make the difference between a normal 100-pound can and a 250-pound can full of foul liquid. Story 38. The advice in this thread should have been taught to us as children in a life skills class. It is good that we are learning to be better now, but reading this I see many things that could have made life easier for others if we had been taught the correct way to dispose of trash. So simple and so sad. Story 39. It amazes me that some people have garbage collectors pick up their trash. I pile mine on the deck until the stench is unbearable. Then I load it into my truck and drive about 20 minutes to the local transfer station, hoping the bears are not there. Story 40. I had a roommate who had worked as a garbage collector when he was younger. He insisted that we rinse out our milk jugs, crush them, and put them in the bin without the lid on. I will let you use your imagination on that one. Story 41. Fold tin can lids inward before throwing the cans in the garbage. I once spoke to a man on a smoke break who had cuts on both arms from lids poking out of garbage bags and slicing him. Since then, I always fold lids inward. I have cut my finger many times on those lids. The same precaution applies to any sharp object. Story 42. Put food in bags. We might be garbage people, but having a maggot-free day can be the difference between a smile and wanting to shoot myself after one fell in my mouth. Story 43. This advice applies only to house-to-house garbage collection performed by hand, not to automated trucks with hydraulic arms. Do not buy a 96-gallon garbage can. It is too large for manual collection. Do not use a small knee-high can and pack it full. Lifting heavy objects from that low angle is bad for backs. Always use sturdy garbage bags. Do not use thin 99-cent store bags that tear easily. If a bag rips at the curb, it will be left. If a bag rips in the street, we are obliged to clean it up, but we will remember and you may be responsible next time. Tie branches and broken wood furniture so we can pick them up easily. We are not there to clean the front of your house. If it is put out sloppily, we may leave it. If your can is extremely dirty or smells foul, we will leave it where it is. If you put the can out without a lid, drill drain holes so rainwater drains. In any case, drill drain holes. We will not try to toss a can with 12 inches of garbage water into the truck. We will retrieve bags floating above the waterline and leave the rest for you to take care of. We will collect it on the next pickup. Be thoughtful about how you set out your garbage. We signed up for this job and are strong. But we are still human and do not want loose pet waste flying into our faces when we tip your can. Also, say hello to your garbage collectors. If you have a regular crew, it is good to get to know them. Story 44. My in-laws tell a story from years ago. One day they were in their yard when a garbage truck stopped at the house across the street. A worker hopped off the truck and grabbed a garbage bag. As he swung the bag, a piece of broken glass inside sliced his arm from wrist to elbow. They grabbed a towel from the truck, wrapped his arm, turned the truck around, and drove to a nearby hospital. Ever since, when my in-laws dispose of broken glass, they put it in a box, tape it shut, label it broken glass, and leave it out separately from their garbage bags. Story 45. Collapse your cardboard boxes. Damn it. It may not seem like a big deal, but when you share a dumpster, boxes take up too much space. If a dumpster or garbage can is full of bulky cardboard and air, people leave their trash next to the bin instead of putting it inside. Story 46. Some garbage collectors are about to have a bomb-ass day tomorrow. Story 47. I was born for this post. Please space the totes out. Do not overfill the totes. Try not to create a garbage Jenga situation. When I touch the tote, nothing should spill. Bagged garbage is very appreciated. Please wash your tote at least once a month. A simple squirt of soap and a spray with the hose will work. Smile and wave. Please bag your barbecue and fire pit ash. Do not pour it directly into the can. Nobody enjoys a plume of ash blowing into their face after every dump for the next block and a half. Please do not jam an entire couch into a tiny dumpster. Thanks. Story 48. I am not a garbage collector, but please do not act impatient when garbage collectors are on their routes. The work is already stressful and tiring without being the target of road rage. Waste collection is a very dangerous job, much more so than law enforcement or military service. A garbage collector is 3 times more likely to die on the job than a local police officer, and far less likely to kill you. Thank you for your service. Story 49. Stop throwing Christmas lights, fishing line, extension cords, video home system tapes, and rope in the recycling. They wrap around the bearings of the conveyor belts at the facility. Also, if you are going to murder someone and chop them up, do not put the torso in the recycling. That was not a fun day. Story 50. Commercial front load driver here. Please stop putting oversized objects, furniture, or building materials in dumpsters. If an item does not fit entirely inside the dumpster, it does not belong there. Sticking several feet out the top does not count as fitting. Read the label on the front of the dumpster. It tells you what is not acceptable. No fluorescent lights because they are toxic. No batteries except alkaline batteries, as other types are flammable or toxic, especially lithium polymer batteries, which can cause a fire if punctured. No tires, no propane tanks, and no similar hazardous items. If we yield the right of way to you at a turn, accept it. This applies to any truck driver. Most of the time you are in our path, or we believe you are in our path. It is frustrating when drivers hesitate because we often need the entire gas station entrance or exit to complete a turn. Do not place objects in front of a dumpster or park in front of it, even for a few minutes. You do not know the pickup date and time. Please do not brake check us or cut in front of us to make a sudden turn. Our trucks weigh a lot. Mine is 43,000 pounds empty and can carry up to 30,000 pounds of trash. I do not want to cause serious injury or death. If I cannot stop in time, my truck will destroy your vehicle. A smaller vehicle can be pulled under or crushed. Story 51. Thank you to all the sanitation workers out there. We appreciate you. Story 52. The last time this was posted, the top comment was, make sure your trash is in bags, not loose in the bin. Tie the bags closed. Otherwise, if the bin tips over, loose pieces will scatter everywhere. Story 53. Please think about what will take us the least amount of time while we are at your house. Keep the cans 3 feet apart from each other and at least 3 feet from anything else, such as your car. Place the cans at the curb, not halfway up the driveway. The arms on these trucks do not reach very far, and if the cans are not at the curb, we must climb out and pull them forward. If cars are parked within a truck's length of the curb, place the cans in the street at the far edge of the car because that is as close as the truck can get. Avoid extra bags if possible. Please do not stop us while we are servicing your trash to bring a single additional bag. These details may seem small, but our routes can be up to 1,200 stops. Each stop should take about 15 seconds. If something takes 1 minute or longer, the delay adds up very quickly by the end of the day. Story 54. Please tie your bags closed. It saves us time. Drain liquids into the sink before placing bags outside. Bags filled with liquid can burst and spill on you or your vehicle. Please consider tipping your sanitation worker occasionally. If you tip someone who handles your food, consider tipping the person who collects your trash. Story 55. If you have curry in your garbage can, fucking close the lid. Don't let it fester in the hot Georgia heat. Story 56. I share a bin with my upstairs neighbors in British Columbia, and they are absolutely terrible at sorting their garbage. They put everything into the general trash bin even though we have 5 bins for different waste. I have repeatedly talked to them about it, and the landlord has too, but they do not care. Garbage is collected every other week, and they fill the entire bin in 1 week, leaving no room for our trash. One night before pickup, I noticed they had not put their cardboard in the yellow bag and had made a pile next to the bins. The next morning, the garbage collector happened to be there and was complaining about it. He said these people have no respect for our work. I agreed with him and told him about my troubles. He left the cardboard where it was and left a note on the other bin. Story 57. My dad drives a commercial route. The only thing he complains about is stores that leave trash outside the bin when the bin is not even full. He sees this every day. Story 58. Put your fucking trash in bags. If you can afford to fill for 95-gallon toters weekly, then you can afford garbage bags. They are not a luxury reserved for the rich. because now we have to lift that very heavy can to dump it. This may come as a surprise, but there are another 1,200 people I am picking up today as well. You alone are wearing me out because you are a nasty pig. If this offends you, it is probably because I am talking about you. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.